Ladies and gentlemen, you're now listening to Defend and Protect. 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 Shield Squad.
What's up, y'all? This is VOCAB Malone, Shield Squad, Apologetics, Defend and Protect. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to improve my video skills, and I'd love to get your feedback in the comment section. Now, most of you who follow apologetic issues between Christians and Hebrew Israelites, specifically One Westers, are aware of the One West doctrine that teaches that white people aren't really white, but rather that they're red, and that way he can be associated with Esau, and that way white people can be called the Edomites. Well, what if I told you that some Hebrew Israelites are known now, it's about to be uncovered, to actually take images when they have someone who is white or they perceive to be their enemy, take these images, photographs and video, and alter them and edit them and doctor them to make the people look more red. Meaning they're making the visual reality twist in order to fit their underlying ideology. That's called propaganda, and today I'm going to show you how the Sicarii Hebrew Israelites have been doing this, and in this video they're going to be shown to be caught red-handed. Sicarii Hebrew Israelites are a Hebrew Israelite, One West influenced sect out of San Diego. They're pictured as their leader, Elazar Ben Loya. Some of you may know another member named Deacon Akah. He's not pictured there. But anyways, I've enjoyed talking to them a number of times in the past. In fact, there's a picture of us when we met up in the LA area. But recently, it's come to my attention some things that I need to show people so full disclosure can happen. But in the past, you'll notice I've said actually a number of commendable things about them. So this isn't some kind of grudge or anything like that. Let me show you an example of some times where I've said complimentary things about Sicarii.
I had a debate, this is a radio debate, also with Guerrilla Hebrew of the Sicarii out of San Diego, and we talked about some of these issues. I think it'd be helpful to listen to that because he's a pretty formidable and articulate. He articulates it in a clear way, and you can understand what he's saying, and he has verses for why he thinks what he thinks.
So here is some of the video image. You can find this on their channel of us where we had a discussion, and I think if you listen to it, it's actually a pretty fruitful discussion. They were open-minded in a lot of ways, and I actually really enjoyed talking to them. I would talk to them anytime. Pretty much they would be willing to talk, as well as with most groups, you know what I'm saying? Regardless of what's said prior, this or that, I'd be willing to talk to people. I think that's a good thing for Christians and those who call themselves Hebrew Israelites to be able to have an open dialogue. But nonetheless, I also think it's good when something is discovered that it should be shown for what it is, so a more fruitful and productive discussion can go forth from there on. Now, what I'm going to show you today is the fact that they've been doctoring images in order to make white people look more red, in order to fit with the Edomite, red Esau doctrine that One Westers have. Now, if this just happened once, it could be a fluke, but if it happens twice, that means it's happened more than once, and there's a specific reason. It's a form of visual propaganda, really, designed to elicit certain emotions from their followers, and they've been successful in this, and I think people should be aware of it when they see images and videos put forth by Sicarii. Now, recently they dropped a video of when they're setting up camp out there street teaching in San Diego, and in it there's a spot where a white woman comes and while they're teaching, bows down to them and also kisses the bottom of the boot. Now, this is a standard One West practice. It goes way back to the old school in Harlem. And the more influenced by One West any given camp or sect is, the more likely they are to do this sort of thing. I'm going to show you the original video here in a second of when the woman initially did this. Then I'm going to show you a more recent image that Deacon Akah posted on his Facebook and Instagram that is a still image from the video. And what I'm going to point out to you is that the original video has been altered in the still image. And it's been reddened to make her look more like supposedly Edomites are supposed to look. And then I'm going to give you a sample flavor of some of the comments that the followers give in relationship to this that they did not initially give because of the visual propaganda element to the video. Now, obviously, there needs to be a discussion about this idea of bootlicking. Clearly, it's not biblical. I'm working on setting up a debate with these men to debate that specific topic. We're going to have to save that for another time. For now, we're focusing not just on the bootlicking aspect. We're not focusing on that right now. Rather, we're going to be focusing on the fact that images have been altered and doctored. I'm going to give you two examples. One is from this bootlicking incident, and another actually involves me, where my face has been reddened in a way that does not actually look like me. So here in just a second, you're going to see the video of the bootlicking incident. I would say enjoy, but come on.
Be a woman of justice if you feel like you have an inch of remorse in your heart for what your forefathers have done to my people. You will bow down to the men that stand before you.
That's right.
Go ahead.
With their face towards the earth.
With your face to the earth. Go ahead.
And lick up the dust of thy feet.
And lick up the dust of our feet. Go ahead.
And thou shalt know that I am the Lord.
And you want to acknowledge the power that the Most High God stands before.
That's right.
You bow down your face. You bow down your face to the earth. Hey, and you lick the dust off of my boot.
That's right. That's right. Call on Yahweh, Yahweh Shai.
Hey, Kwam Yasharallah.
Kwam Yasharallah.
Kwam Yasharallah.
Kwam Yasharallah. Kwam Yasharallah. Kwam Yasharallah.
That's right.
Sicarii put this video up on all their social media. There's a picture of it from their YouTube account. And people who are into this sort of thing obviously were elated. You could hear the euphoria even in the video about the fact that, you know, she's down there doing this and all that. However, recently, in September, the original video was back in August, it's been reposted, just a still image from it. And in this still image, it's clearly been doctored.
You looked in the mirror, didn't know what to do. Yesterday your eyes were brown, but today they are blue. Your whole appearance is a lie and it can never be true. And if you really like yourself, then you would try and be you. If your hair and eyes are real, I wouldn't have dissed you. But since it was boy, I had to dismiss you.
If that seemed quick, don't worry, we'll look at this a few times. So what you just saw was the doctored image. It was a screenshot. Remember what you've seen prior. Now here's the original video again. And I'm going to slow it down right at the infamous bootlicking part. By the way, this is disturbing to any normal person, not to even mention a Christian. How someone who reads the scripture and could think that this is a good godly thing is beyond me. Now look, if you notice, you'll see a certain skin tone, a certain coloring. This is the original video. Obviously, there's some darkness around the eyes. What they've done, though, is accented and highlighted it. This is called manipulating an image, and it's for ideological purposes. This is propaganda. This is not truth in visual telling. Now, let's do a side-by-side comparison here. The one on the left is the doctored image, and the one on the right is the original image. Obviously, these are not the same. They did this on purpose. Shame. Proverbs 10:9 says that whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but he who makes his ways crooked will be found out. Today, Sicarii Israelites are being found out. The scripture also says, for we are taking pains to do what is right, not only in the eyes of the Lord, but also in the eyes of men. 2 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 21. Are you guys, by doctoring images, telling visual half-truths, taking pains to do what is right? I don't think so. This type of propaganda and visual deception has no place in the life of someone who calls himself a man of God. There's a few more passages that I need to share that will become relevant in a minute. Proverbs 10:31 says, the mouth of the righteous brings forth wisdom, but the perverse tongue will be cut off. I'd like to share also another scripture from the book of James, chapter 1, verse 26. If anyone thinks he is religious and does not bridle his tongue, but deceives his heart, this person's religion is worthless. I'm going to show some of the comments that appeared on the altered version of the image from some of the Sicarii members and followers, and show by the comments that come forth, by the words of their tongue, they show that the religion of the Hebrew Israelites is worthless. Let's look at some of the comments here under the repost, specifically the last two. They say she looked like a real cave beast with a look of the devil. Now that shows the visual propaganda has had its effect, and that's why they're doing it, for emotive purposes. I'm going to read a few more comments that I've gathered from the different social media sites, primarily Deacon Hakaz's Facebook and Instagram page. I believe these are mainly from Facebook, but I put some of the worst ones together. Actually, not the worst ones, the ones that specifically focus on some aspect of the aesthetic, because that's what they're going for, and I'm showing they're doing it for this reason. With that, I'm going to read these. Excuse my language, as I'll be repeating what has been written here. Looks possessed, LOL. Look at her face. It looks wicked and diseased. I said the same thing. Looks demonic. I can see the evil in her face. LMAO, bitch look like a demon. This demonic bitch went home and watched black ebony porn after this. She looks like a demon. Ak is how they would call each other brother in this instance. Now, I don't think there needs to be a lot of commentary on this. Someone who is deceived, someone who is deluded, someone who is walking in the darkness would think all of this is fine and dandy, and apparently even teach that it's scriptural. However, anyone who understands anything about what it means to be Christ-like would understand this is not Christ-like. Again, here is the altered image that people were making those comments on that I just read. Here is the original image. Again, it's obvious there's a difference going back to the altered image, and you see the comments that come about from people who watch Sicarii videos. Next time you watch one, though, ask them, did you put that Edomite filter on there? Did you guys doctor this one? Did you alter it? Is there an Esau filter in your Photoshop or what? Well, the same thing actually happened to me. Another altered image. I debated Guerrilla Hebrew of Sicarii back in July of 2016 on salvation, and I remind you, I said positive things about him and the debate. Here's an example.
With that particular issue, I would just say listen to some of those debates and try to kind of see what's going on, to see what they might say, because those are two formidable Hebrew Israelite proponents there, Tazariak and Guerrilla Hebrew.
Well, I already showed you the flyer that we did for the debate. It was on the website I showed earlier. Now here's the flyer that they did for the debate. They titled it and all that. And they also altered it. My face and my lips do not look like that. I am not red. I'm part Sicilian. I don't look like that. And I, of course, am going to show you in a second here the original picture so you can see they have doctored it. They put me through the Edomite Esau filter for propaganda purposes. Again, this is deceptive visuals. There's the original. There's the altered. And now I'm going to show you how they've been caught red-handed. You cannot trust the visuals from this group. Watch. 2 times, I bet there's more. Colossians 3:9 says, "Do not lie to one another, seeing that you have put off the old self with its practices, and have put on the new self, which is being renewed in knowledge after the image of its creator. Here there is neither Greek nor Jew, circumcised and uncircumcised, barbarian, Scythian, slave free, but Christ is all and in all." Sicarii, have you put on the new man, or are you walking the practices of the old?
Shield Squad.